What's up, guys? Welcome to my Redcrest practice video. If you guys saw my Lake Fork practice video, I watched the footage with you, broke it down, and did a little bit more talking and explaining over why and what I was doing. Redcrest week is here. It's gonna be a wild week. Cold temperatures, rising water, muddy water, lots of changes, so let's get into the video. First things I noticed here at Grand Lake of the Cherokees, 48.92 in the back of this creek. Wolf Creek right here we're going out of. Major tournaments go out of here all year long. A lot of release fish. Definitely an area I'm going to spend some time, but I think a lot of guys will. That being said, there will be a lot of fish caught out of this very creek right here within inside of this boat ramp. So something to remember. It's a little chilly this morning. We're going to have a very warm day today, mid 70s. So I'm bundled up right now. It's 35 degrees, but by lunchtime I should be in just a hoodie and some jeans. Big kicker that we have coming. The big kicker we have coming is a bunch of rain potentially coming tomorrow and through the first couple days of the tournament. So this place is kind of famous for getting blown out muddy and nasty, and we'll see if that doesn't end up happening. So yeah, you'll notice 48-degree water temp is cold, but these Grand Lake bass, we're in northern Oklahoma. They're used to it. This place like 3 weeks ago probably had ice on the backs of the pockets and some really extreme cold fronts coming into a 70-degree day. I figured fishing was going to be pretty good through practice. And I mentioned it right there, the rain coming. We didn't know if we were going to get half an inch, an inch and a half, 2.5, and that's going to change a lot of things. Grand Lake gets very muddy with not very much rain. So everything I fished, I kind of had to take it with a grain of salt, knowing that it very well could change. I didn't know what to expect. Got a big channel swing, basically a river channel swing on this side, kind of transition into a flat area. We got a pocket right on the point of a main channel swing right here. So that's what we're going to fish to start. Fish a couple pockets, couple points, key places. If we don't get a bite, we're just going to leave that area. All right, so this pocket was a big no, but there's a boat ramp right on a flat point up here that we're going to throw out just because the boat ramp on a flat point. First bite, not a Grand Lake biggin. Sorry I didn't have my camera going for that, but jerkbait fish on the outside of this dock. And that's, about as small one as you're going to catch this time of year on Grand anyway. Another non-squirrel, a little fish. Chatterbait. There's one. If that's a bass, not a drum. If it's a bass, it's a good bass. That's more like it for Grand Lake now. Looky here, guys. Come here. Oh, look at that one, dude. Look at that. Look at how that thing is built. Y'all just gotta take a second and look at this fish. Respect the gut on that thing. Dude, that's got the mouth of a 2-pounder and it's like a 4.5. Look at how wide he is. There's nothing better than catching one that's just so stupidly fat, and that's what it's gonna be this week. I love it. Okay. All right, guys. First scoreable bite off a bridge. That's the only bad thing, is it's a bridge and it's a community hole. Oh, there's another one off that same spot. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's another giant too. Okay. This one's bigger. Oh my gosh. Look at how this fish ate it, guys. Look at this. Hello. Goodbye, crankbait. Dude, that's a giant. That's stinking sweet. Get on out of here. Okay. Alright, safe to say I'm not going to throw it right there again. We're going to probably go to that other side and see if we can't catch one on that other side or get a bite on that other side. So yeah, that's great. I caught 2 giant fish. If you heard though, the only bad thing is it's a bridge. It's a causeway. I'm up in the Elk River. It's a bad thing because it's a community hole. A lot of other guys are gonna fish it. A lot of other guys are gonna find it. With a place like a bridge, especially one that major, fish can move a lot and they can be really hard to relocate. They can slide way up and down the riprap. They can completely switch sides of the bridge that they're on. And so I knew that that was gonna be a good spot, but however, I couldn't put all my eggs in the basket of like, that cast is going to be the one that pays off for me. Another thing that made me nervous there, being in the Elk River, it could blow out with mud depending on how much rain we get. So that's why I wasn't super excited about it. Weird. There's one. There's one. Feels like a good one too. Dude, that was like my 5th cast at that boat ramp. He's a scoreable. Oh yeah, baby. 2.5 pounder. Dude, I literally threw at that boat ramp like 5 times. You can see the depression on it right here and how it breaks off. And that fish was just sitting right on it. I literally thought this fish was little. He's not little. I mean, he's not big like the other 2, but he scored. Okay. I need to get out of this area because they're fishing here. I can come catch them in here. It doesn't blow out muddy. And that's close to 3 pounds. Good start to practice, guys. I mean, we've had some uneventful water and we've had some really eventful water. I mean, it was cool to catch 2 big ones off that bridge, but it's one thing to catch 2 big ones off a bridge. It's so specific if it doesn't work out, but the fact that we came right down to this little stretch here, caught 2 good squirrels, that gives me a lot of confidence in this area. I mean, so we're gonna hunt around in here for a couple more hours, see if we can't expand on it. I mean, practice started off really, really well. One of the coolest things was that boat ramp fish. If you saw there on live scope, I kind of pointed it out. What happens, you've got a long flat boat ramp, you've got a blowout from people power loading. You know, when they rev their engines to get it up on the trailer, it pushes the rock and sediment out, creates just a big depression at the base of those ramps. And in the wintertime, great way to catch a fish. Saw a few more fish on live scope there, and then went right down the bank just to a laydown, caught another one. So there's clearly a bunch of fish swimming around in that area, and that's why I chose to get out of there. I figured I'd come there in the tournament and kind of try to fish around. The bad thing is I was getting bit on a crankbait. Can't really shake them off on a crankbait, so that's why I decided to leave the area. Oh, that feels big if that's a bass. Oh, yeah, that's a big one. Gosh, dog it. Okay. 5 pounder. Gosh. It's over 5. Guys, what do we do? We're smashing. It's too good to be true. That's pushing 6. Like, that's a giant bass. I mean, a monster. So you'll see what I got here. This is like a flat, gravelly point. There used to be a dock or something here, and I'm throwing at the key main pieces of cover. If you look right here on the bottom, there's just something there. It's 5 feet deep, and that's right where that fish came off of. It looks like there might be 1 or 2 more down there. Yeah, look right here. I don't know if you can see this. The fish just moved right there. I'm definitely not going to throw again. But that's pretty sick. Kind of scary. A lot of times good practice ends up being bad tournaments, but holy cow. This is a good start, guys. Especially this time of year with as much change as we've got coming. Big cold front, rising water. But I liked that last spot specifically because it was kind of a flat do nothing point. There was a key piece of cover on it that I was able to find on live scope. It doesn't look like anything, so stuff like that is stuff I get excited about because I'm like, hey, probably not a bunch of other competitors going to find this. The more specific the piece of cover, you know, the less time it takes you to fish it. You can just pull up, make a cast or 2. It either works or it doesn't. So specific cover is stuff that I really get excited about in practice. I got one. I won the tournament. Oh, dude, it's a big one too. It's like a 4-pluser. Oh, That's a big old jig fish right there. Look at his tongue, dude. Look at the color on that fish. Tub, dude. If you thought it was weird that I said I won the tournament in that last fish catch, it's because I was on the phone with my buddy Brian, who's fishing back home on Lake Whitney, and he said first one to catch a fish wins, and I caught one before he did. But all in all, it's been a really slow afternoon. Had a good morning, but it's been like 4 hours between bites. I got that last bite right there on a finesse jig. The sun's gotten high. You know, you've got some, with the water down, you've got some really tight, like shallow shade lines under the backs of these docks, and that's what that fish was sitting on. There was actually a little piece of brush there too. Saw it on live scope. I didn't see the fish, but I saw the brush. And you know, the first 2 days of the tournament, it's not going to be a flippers kind of day. You know, it's going to be a crankers and a power fisherman spinnerbait. But you know, come the end of the tournament, it's gonna get back to being a flipping derby in the afternoons, and this might be a way to catch some. And I mean, that was a big fish. It was over 4 pounds, maybe 4.5. So good key bite. I'll take it. That's my update. I know it's been a long time. It's already, I mean, the last fish catch you saw, last clip you saw was probably at 10 a.m. It's 3:53 right now, so that tells you how slow it's been. I just really hadn't had much to show. That was the first flipping bite, well, first key flipping bite I had. I think I caught some other little ones. But looking at the forecasted weather, first 2 days of the tournament's calling for rain, wind, cold temperatures, clouds. But you're looking towards the end of the week, and obviously I'm filming this during the week. You got bright sunshine, and I know that flipping bite is going to become a deal. You know, not saying you can't catch one on a jig in the rain and the wind, but sun is where that bite excels. Fish maybe? What do I have here? Little bitty thing. Non-squirrel. Uh-oh, that's a better one, I think. 30-pounder. Couple jig bites, couple crankbait bites. I like it. Another boat ramp fish. I mean, it's worth taking a waypoint on because that could easily be a 5-pounder at the right time. So that ended the first day of practice for me. Fun day. I think I probably had 7 or 8 scoreable bites in total. My best 5 that day probably would have gone like 22 plus pounds, which is just, I mean, it's an awesome day. A lot of big fish. I was excited, you know, catching them a lot of the ways I like to catch them, fishing shallow. But I know that was the last bit of sunshine I was going to see, and it was time to get back to reality of big fronts, bad weather, and just a nasty weather system, which is what we faced all year long. So I feel like I'm mentally prepared for it anyway. Good morning, guys. Day 2 of practice here. My camera died near the end of the day yesterday, so didn't get to film an outro or anything like that, but this is all one big practice video, so no outro needed. Today's going to be a different day. You can see the sun in the distance over there, but we got some clouds moving in. Around 11 o'clock, we got some potentially big storms, big rain moving in, which could change things up. I'm going to spend that time, I think, down in the clear water. I'm still up in kind of the dirtier water, up around the bridge, upper end of the lake right now. The reason I'm up here is because it's where I got the majority of my bites yesterday, and I don't want to spread myself out too much if I don't have to. But I also need to keep in mind that with all of the rain coming, there's a chance that the stuff I found yesterday could just turn into straight chocolate milk and be no good anymore. I can't just like put all my eggs in this upper end basket. I've gotta, you know, keep everything honest and try a bunch of different stuff. If it wasn't for the rain, I wouldn't even think about going down lake. I would try to spend as much time on this upper end as I could, and even further up than what I have been. But I just think that stuff's gonna get too muddy. Now, if we don't get the rain they're calling for, I'm gonna regret not going up there. But you got to go with the predicted forecast, and with only 2 days of practice, you can't do it all. All right, guys, got a little rain moving in, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna put my cameras up or not. It's gonna depend on how heavy it starts raining. Definitely gonna take this one down. All I know is I ain't about that life of getting wet. There we go, guys. Little boat ramp fish. Probably score too. Oh yeah, hit score. Little flat-sided crankbait bite. Throw a jig down there, see if we can't shake it. See if there's not another one down there to shake off. It's just a 2-pounder. We're shallow, so you're gonna get a lot of interference. The boat ramp comes down. And you'll actually see right here, there's a hole and then a high spot. That fish was sitting right there. I mean, that might be one of his buddies. And that hole is small, but these washouts, that's what those fish like to sit in if they can. And I was coming right up out of that hole and that fish ate it. So I'm gonna throw a jig over there. See if we can't shake one off, but nonetheless, it's a bite. I do not like messing around with lightning. So that was the last dry fish catch I have. Yet again, another boat ramp fish. You can see it really good on live scope. What I was talking about are those blowouts. Obviously, the busier the ramp is, the flatter the ramp is, the harder people have to power load, and the better blowout you're going to have is what we call a blowout at the end of the ramp. All right, guys. I didn't have the camera rolling when I hooked this one, but it's a big one. Come back in this creek, same creek that I've had the bite on a boat ramp. I'm kind of in the back of it where it's a little dirtier, cranking down a really steep stretch. And that is a giant. Look at the size of that thing, dude. It's like a 5-pounder. Little flat-sided crankbait. I mean, that's a giant fish. Look at how fat it is. I'm gonna let her go. You see there's a little stick lay down right here. All she was on is this. So we got a long straight stretch. You got one stick in the water and she was sitting right on it. So I'm gonna take a waypoint, probably get off this stretch and head to the next area because there's clearly some fish biting around in this area. I'm gonna maybe hop to the other side of the creek on the flatter side, see if I can get bit over there too. But that's a good bite. Those go a long ways. All right, guys. Yet again, I didn't have my camera running. I'm sorry, but y'all noticed something pretty cool here. First cool thing is a squirrel bass. Second cool thing, another boat ramp. I mean, clearly that's a big key right now. And that's, you know, it doesn't really matter where you are in the United States. Like, it's pre-spawn, springtime, wintertime, boat ramp fishing is, it's a way to catch them. There ain't no doubt about that. So, definitely something for all you guys to keep in mind that are watching this. If you're looking for just a way to get a bite this time of year. See that blue dot? That's us. All this red is coming. And there's more behind it training up, so that looks nasty right there. It's gonna be hard to get back tonight. It's gonna be the problem. If it's just storming like that, you know, risking the lightning and trying to stay out late. Have to be careful. I don't think you're gonna wake up the first morning and be like, wow, the water temp's 4 degrees warmer. You ain't gonna see that. I'll holler at you. I ain't gonna fish till dark like I did yesterday. I'll honestly maybe fish another hour or so. And if we get, oh, hang on, I got one. Dude, I got it. I was on the phone with Jordan here. What do I have? What is this? I don't feel like a bass. I feel like I got something snagged. Oh, I got me a carp in the top of the head. Heck yeah. That's what we call a Grand Lake smallmouth right there, boys. Dude, that thing was so slimy. All right, guys. Like, dude, I was covered in slime. During this thunderstorm, I have smashed them. The water's gotten dirtier already. I don't know if it's the wind or what, or just the runoff off the bank. But catch them on a 3/4 ounce spinnerbait, Hildebrandt number 5 blade. But look at that trailer. New G-Crack prototype. That'll be my signature bait. It's a flipping bait, but I had them pour me some specifically for trailers of chatterbaits and spinnerbaits. And this thing, well, it may not look like much, moves like crazy. I've caught 4 good ones on it. Kind of excited. That was pretty sick. So yeah, I was able late in that day to get on a nice little spinnerbait bite. Really shallow. and they were just crushing it. I mean, we had the right conditions for it. I mean, it had been warm, water temp was warm, heavy rain, low light conditions, dirtying water, but not muddy yet. I mean, they were chomping that spinnerbait. Well, guys, that is the end of my practice video. You know, I mentioned a lot about that rain coming in and how much it was going to change. We are midweek here now. I know what ends up happening. It changed a lot. We ended up getting almost 2 inches of rain. The lake is up almost 3 feet since this video is filmed, and a lot of that water where you saw me catch fish got dirty, which you guys will see in the tournament video. But I hope y'all enjoyed this. I know my last Lake Fork one went really well. People seem to enjoy this kind of a secondary breakdown, watching the footage with me while I break it down. Stay tuned. First Redcrest video is coming right up.